Well, those costly ads bring the total of what the union, the Service Employees Union, has spent so far to $1 million pushing immigration reform. It's $3 million. I shortchanged the union on their budget. Joining me now, the A-Team, former Special Assistant to President George W. Bush, Republican strategist Ron Christie, former White House Special Assistant, Senior Advisor to Bill Clinton, Richard Socarides, and News Director of the Tea Party News Network, Scotty Nell Hughes. I always love having guests who have these short, succinct names that I don't have any trouble. Richard, great to see you.
Nice to see you.
This president right now is saying he's sorry for for those people who relied on his word and lost their insurance. Is that assuage you?
I think that what the president should explain is what he really meant when that is that there's nothing in Obamacare which would require you to change your insurance. There is not a guarantee, however, in Obamacare that the insurance companies won't decide to change their mind. I mean, this is a capitalist system that we don't require companies to act in a certain way. If an insurance company decides that it no longer wants to offer insurance, they can decide. So I don't know why the Democrats and why President Obama...
Well, actually, they passed a law about just under 4 months after the passage of Obamacare, in which they made it absolutely necessary. They being the Democrats, which control both houses.
We passed Obamacare for very good reasons, though.
I'm sure I'm not talking about the darkness of your heart. I'm just saying to you what the facts are. And let me turn to you. The Republicans really haven't come up with a rejoinder here, have they?
No.
They talk still. I mean, I'm still hearing a few talk about repealing Obamacare. I hear others talking about the budget, for crying out loud. I don't understand why the Republican Party can't come up with a strategy, approach, and a message when the Obama administration has just fallen straight on its face here.
Well, Lou, you want to talk about befuddled? I think the Republican Party right now is befuddled. They seemingly have no message, no direction, no clear idea of where they want to take the country and why they should be given the responsibility back to govern. Given what we've seen with Obamacare, given the tragedy, really, of the way that this is rolled out and the albatross that this sits around this administration, you'd think the Republicans would have a coherent message and a coherent strategy, and they don't. And they better get one in a hurry, because although the president's numbers are down right now, if we're going into a midterm election and the Republicans can't give a clear reason why the Democrats should be fired and the Republicans should be hired, I don't see our chances being very good of picking up the Senate or making significant inroads in the House. I just don't see it.
And, Scotty, the Republican establishment, they're pounding their chest in the victory. Well, it was a defeat, of course, in Virginia, but it was a victory over the Tea Party. And libertarians made all the difference in the outcome of that race and actually took down the Republican candidate. And in the 1st District in Alabama, we watched the Tea Party, play victim to what I call the Karl Rove wing of the Republican Party. It was the establishment, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and they came in and had their way. Mm-hmm.
See, Lou, I know better than to disagree with you, but on this case, I don't think the Republicans are cheering because the Tea Party got beat in Virginia. I think they're actually very scared because the Tea Party did much better than what they were hoping they would do. They put Cuccinelli out there to literally be a sacrificial lamb. And when it came as close as it did, they're now getting pretty scared, going, wait a minute, we didn't help him and he did that good? This, I think, sent a direct message to the GOP. You might want to start going back to your conservative center-right base and sitting here continuing to cater to the moderates.
You can see Jeb Bush and Karl Rove doing that right away, can't you? Because trembling as they
if they're smart.
If they go, it takes the more money out of those super PACs. I can't quite see that. The other part of that is that I was talking about the Republican leadership, not Republicans themselves. But it looks like the Republican Party here has decided that they're not big enough for the libertarians, not big enough for the Tea Party.
Are they big enough for Chris Christie, though? That is the real question, because certainly Chris Christie, I think, as you've alluded to, would be a very formidable Republican Party candidate for president in a race between Chris Christie and Hillary Clinton. I think he would really give her a race for their money.
He would not.
But the Republican Party is not smart enough to nominate Chris Christie. That's why the Democrats. That's why we are not worried.
This is all the Democrats want. Yeah, let me say this, Scotty.
Chris,
The Democrats are just waiting. They're just waiting for Chris Christie to come up, and the same media that's giving him all this cheerleading right now is going to turn on him in such a vicious manner. Chris Christie is
You mean
not...
you get suspicious when Democrats encourage a specific Republican to run for? Because I remember,
Exactly.
I remember all the Democrats a year ago just thrilled that there was a fellow by the name of Mitt Romney running against.
And let us not forget John McCain.
I'm very
Moderates are
serious about Chris
losing.
Christie.
That's the track record.
I
No,
promise
Chris Christie
you.
No
will
one
lose
doubted
if you
you're
put
serious.
Chris Christie at the top of it.
It's not a
You put
double
Chris
reverse
Christie at the
strategy.
top.
We're not really advocating for Christie because we want him. I think he'd be a very formidable candidate.
No, we wouldn't.
Richard
No,
Socarides.
why would you want an actual real candidate? Put Scott Walker. Put Governor Scott Walker right up against
We'll take
Hillary
him.
Clinton. I
We
guarantee.
agree. That
You
would be
will have
great.
the exact,
Well,
no,
that'd be
fantastic.
I think that would be
Scott
Scott
fantastic.
Walker for president would be
As
fantastic.
we continue, thank you all. Up next, the brand new book, George Washington's Secret Six, detailing how the future first president